Hello, welcome to the open house in Viral Angels. I'm actually supposed to leave my bags, but okay. Hi, I'm Alicia.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm not bad, how are you?
Where are you from?
Wakefield.
I'm from Cardiff, South Wales.
How long have you been members?
I joined on May the 9th rather, so just short of 4 months. I have actually just qualified as senior manager a few days ago. So very happy with what's going on, yeah.
Yeah, I've only just started, I've only been in 4 weeks, so I'm just at the trade level at the moment, but looking good. Yeah.
We've come over, myself, James and Gerwin. We caught the flight 6:20 this morning from London, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So we've only just arrived.
Going scared of the camera, so he's hiding.
So we are yeah,
Getting quick.
very, very tired. Very tired. Here he comes. Come on, Gerwin. Here he comes, the boss.
Right. Can you do a bit of Frank Sinatra, Gerwin?
Yeah, I'll do a sing-song. Yeah, we are at the Viral Angels office and looking forward to an absolutely brilliant day. So everybody who's watching this, I hope you get a lot out of it, and there's going to be some exciting news. Catch you later. Thanks.
Okay.
That camera?
Okay. Welcome to the broadcast from Viral Angels office in Sweden, Stockholm. This is going to be a great day for everyone. So I wish you had been here and be here the next time. Bye.
Han ringde från Island för att han hade tittat på mig här genom internet.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm from Iceland. I haven't. I'm just a member. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, but I've been reading a lot about it, and I know people who are involved. That's why I'm here. Okay.
Hi all, how are you? Nice to be here at the VA event. We have some great things to announce. See you soon.
Okay, we're gonna say welcome to our guest from Estonia, and here we have...
My name is Ulla.
And what are you doing in Viral Angels?
I started on first day when Viral Angels started 2 years ago in June, and I am very happy to be here, part of such kind of fantastic team and members.
Okay, thank you very much. And here we have Anneli.
Yeah, hello, my name is Anneli, and I have been Viral Angels 10 months now, and I'm very excited what's going next.
Okay, what are you waiting from today?
I hope it will be many new interesting meetings with interesting people, and get to know team and to work and get news also.
Okay, thank you very much. And your name is?
Merike, and I'm here with Anneli, and I don't know, let's see what's happened.
You see what happened? Have you been long in Viral Angels?
No, I'm only 2 months.
Okay, but so far, how are you feeling?
It's fun.
Okay, very welcome to all of you.
Okay, so everyone, hi, good to have you here. Actually, looks a bit ridiculous. I've got this microphone and you can't hear me anyhow. But the microphone is actually for the camera. We're broadcasting this event live, as you know. Hopefully the technology works this time. Hi everyone. Guys, say hi to all our other members in the world. Hey. So, really glad to have you here. This is the first VA get-together on site here. We thought it's a nice thing to get you guys into our offices, show you a little bit more about how we work, what we do, get to know the people behind the scenes. And we actually have a few interesting items of news that will change the schedule for the day. I think you'll like them. But before we do that, I'll take you through what's going to happen today. So the idea is initially we'll make sure everybody got here. We'll register you. I hope you've registered with Emma, otherwise please do that. We will introduce our staff to you. Many of you have met some of our people before, some of you haven't. And what we'll be doing is we'll give you a quick tour of the office. We got the Trig office on the next floor. We'll show you that too. As you see, we have a lot of Trig people here today. We will do a short update on Trig. After that, we'll be talking a little bit about VA, where we're going, the roadmap for the coming 24 months. Post that, we'll be talking about our company portfolio. We'll be doing a short break between 6 and 7. We'll be serving some food here, get a chance to talk to people and mingle. And then at 7, we'll be splitting up into 2 teams. One team will be upstairs, getting a training on leadership training with Anders for half an hour. The other team will have another event for half an hour here. And then we'll swap. Post that, we'll talk a little bit about Trig. And we expect to wrap this up by 9. But all in all, the whole idea is that the main point is for you guys to meet us here, see what we do, and it's going to be a fairly relaxed event, not too much of training today. So before I proceed, I want to introduce you to a few of VA's people. You see the Trig people are very easy to spot. Let's see where we have VA people here. So starting out with Lars, he's actually wearing a Trig shirt. Lars is our lawyer. Does all our legal work, a lot of it. We have Peter, another lawyer. We collect them. Peter Lur, who's on the board of VA. We have, let's see, where are you guys? We have, oh, there you are, Alicia, support and back office. Janne, back office and controller, many of you know. Matthias over there, sales. He's also got a Trig shirt on this week. We have, I keep scanning, and Jimmy, of course, you need to do a selfie. Camera and media, editorial. We have, and, sorry, yeah, I'm getting there, I'm just scanning off. We have Anders here, who heads up the network stuff. And a lot of you leaders here are here, so we will introduce you guys too. And I'm just scanning you one by one. Beatrice, project management and my sidekick. Emily scanning social media, and Christopher, chief developer, the tech genius. And we have Emma, our new office manager. It's just starting actually. Do we have any more? I lose count. Oh, and Maria, support, sorry, I was looking at all the Trig people there. There we go. So I think it's most of you. Sorry, and Soraya, KYC too, and support. Right, so again, we have a few things about our companies, but first, before I go into that, I want to thank you all for taking time to come here. You've all done this on your own dime. Really appreciate that. As an extra thank you, we're going to do a special allocation for you who showed up here. So we have a special little present that you're going to get. In order to do that, however, you need to register with Emma. So if you haven't signed up on the list, please, before the night is over, make yourself known to Emma. But I have a pretty big piece of news that I think I'm going to let Philip tell you about right now. Philip. It's all yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. The trick is not to fall down the stairs as we do this. So I think today is a rather interesting day. So for the last 2 years, we've been developing a project and with a particular purpose in mind. And that project has actually been going at leaps and bounds in many different ways and many reasons why it has been going in those directions. Our team has built some great products. We have launched those products. Those products are being accepted on a global basis, and we are fast approaching the culmination of the things that we've set out to achieve. Yes, I agree with you. And I think that some of the things that we've all been waiting for is where are we going with Trig? Well, I'm pleased and happy to announce that the Financial Inspection approved the company's listing today.
2 hours ago.
So more up. So I think that this is something worth clapping for, and there's a bit of a song played. Yeah. And I think that this song represents exactly everything that we should be happy for. And we'd like you all to clap and be happy.
So is the release out?
Yes.
Good.
So I'm not as good as Pharrell. Again.
You know, we did ask for a poll.
That's right. The poll comes later. So I think it's a good thing and a great thing. The press release is out. The prospectus itself is on the company's website. And I think that the last piece of news that we'll all be waiting for will probably be out on Thursday. And I think that this will be one of those events. Many of you have been around this for a while, but this is one of those events that singularly does not occur in the world too often. And singularly happens to us all never, but we are here and it will happen very soon. And to become a listed company is one thing. To be listed on a major stock exchange, that's another altogether. To be listed on a regulated market of one of the big exchanges is few companies. There are only several thousand in the world, and we will be one of those. At which point we then move to the next stage in our development, and that journey becomes the real fun. Thank you very much, and be happy.
Thanks, Philip. All right, so that's great news, isn't it? We've been waiting for this, and actually we Friday we suspected this might have come through, and we were really nervous because we wanted to tell you this today. So we only got the papers 2 hours ago, so that's really nice. So big relief for all of us, and this means we can move forward. We will be publishing additional updates about this on the website as we go. Until then, we can't say more, but I think that speaks for itself. So the idea is that I'm going to tell you a little bit more about where we're heading with VA. I'll spend about 20 minutes, 30 minutes on that. After that, we'll do a short break, short office tour, and I will take you through our company portfolio where we are. As you may notice, you're not sitting very comfortably. This is because we didn't expect as many of you to turn up. But then in the last days, so many signed up, and we were happy you got here. So the plan is that grab a chair, and we spread out like this. I think it's better if I stand up here because it's easier to hear me. So why don't you guys grab a chair and sit comfortably somewhere. Take a minute to do that. Got that organized in a fairly short amount of time. Okay. Excellent. All right. So, think you sorted that in a surprising short amount of time. That's really good. So, what I want to talk a little bit about is the roadmap for VA for the coming year, 2 years. As you know, some of you have heard it. Yeah, some of you have heard me talk about this only 6 months ago. We had a very interesting growth then. We still have interesting growth. And what's happened is we've moved into partially regulating our business activities, which has brought some interesting challenges, but also some interesting opportunities to us. And actually, Anders told me something interesting a while ago, which I think is worth talking about today, and that is how few people actually work in, and I'm not talking about the networking side of being a member in Viral Angels, how few people actually have the ability to retire from what they do. And as you know, I'm not from the network marketing industry. Pretty interesting one. I've learned a lot in these last 2 years. But what I've seen is that a lot of people join the industry and they're actually looking for a quick fix. I think we've bored those people to death, so they've left us. And that's very important to understand, that this is actually a job, it's a career, and just like any other job, you need to work and build a career. But the difference in our product and our system, as we think, is we're not encouraging people to think that they just blast out email links to people and then they make money for the rest of their life. This is actually a job, but the difference is you can actually also reach a point where you make a decent exit. And you have a retirement plan, and you have something you're actually building for the long term. That's a very, very, like that? Thanks. There. Very interesting. I think that's an interesting part of our concept. And what we've done lately is that because of this, we've actually changed our product portfolio quite a bit. It's not immediately apparent, but it will be over the coming few weeks. We've finalized the migration into having a regulated entity handle the share transactions. We've also changed the product portfolio versus the companies, so the way we work with companies. So what will happen now is, beginning this month, we actually increase the number of companies coming into VA, and we're actually spreading out the risk in terms of more companies, but smaller stakes in each company. So this becomes more of a machinery. So what we will have is a bulk of companies. I expect to list a new company every second week up until the end of the year. And from next year, the anticipated pace will be about one company per week. So we really created a machinery. So smaller allocations, but in more companies. So that spreads out the risk. You get a diversity in the portfolio. So that's the whole idea. That also opens the door to other possibilities, because that gives us the ability to crossbreed these companies, and they find different partnerships with each other. But it also makes our job easier, and we can get better at promoting them. So that's part of the change. What we will do in addition to that is that we do a few hand-picked big listings and promotions every year on top of that, such as the Trig listing we did now. And we have a very strong campaign called the Windfall campaign being launched, and Anders will take you through the details of that later tonight. So the combination, louder, the combination of those things, I think will create a very, very strong base for VA. And as we see now, we're coming almost full circle with the Trig project, and that will be very interesting, because this gives us a very strong track record to show others as well. Now, what we did when we released improved products is we actually increased the payout levels on different membership levels as well. I'm not really sure how apparent that was. I think we made an effort and communicate that in a very strong way a couple of weeks ago. Not sure if everybody's got that. I think this is part of where we need to make an effort and work with our network, our downlines, and educate them. One challenge we always have that we need to keep getting better, and that is communication. We need to teach you to teach your network and teams to actually read and to actually take part in the information we're giving them, because it's important. We will be doing some trainings about this tonight as well on that topic, because the success in this is highly dependent on how clear we are, how well we communicate what we do. We have a strong product, but do people understand that? That's the challenge here. One part of the development coming here is that we expect to release a new design in about a week's time of the website. We've been behind on that. As part of that too, we will be releasing new functionality, simplifying the T24 applications. We will improve the KYC processing. We will improve the support. Later this month, we will be releasing a proper support hotline. People can actually call and get help. We will be outsourcing this, but it's a highly trained function. They will know our product, so we will be able to respond much faster, because we've just had very high volumes and it's been very hard to deal with that. So we will have like a first line support that is going to be connected, and then we have the second line support, which will still be here. So they will be able to help them and in turn train them. So I think what you'll see is much faster turnaround on that front. Another new feature we're implementing now, and this is where I was heading in terms of the ability to build something to retire on, or at least build this very solid foundation, is that we are shortly implementing a bonus system where we're also setting aside a certain percentage of the paper coming in, and we are creating a director's bonus, director and higher, right? Bonus program, which will be distributed. So we have a goal. We're looking at reaching 10,000 members, paying members, by the end of this year as part of the Windfall campaign, and 24 by the beginning of June next year. That's our target. That's where we're heading. Hey, welcome. No worries, no worries. No worries. So the idea is that if we reach that goal, a certain percentage of that paper will be distributed to the directors. And same thing in June, when we reach the second goal, we'll have another dividend distribution. This will be a very strong one. So once you see this put in numbers, you'll see that this is a very nice little thing to have. So this year we are going strong. We're going very strong. Now, I need my notes. Sorry about that. So what we'll be doing is communicating that properly, and part of the leader training will also show you the numbers exactly on screen. Where we're heading in general on the regulatory side is that we are, as I told you, the trading is now handled by brokers, and we've moved that into licensed entity. We are experiencing some delays there in the handling, but we're just getting those things fine-tuned, so I expect another 2 weeks before this runs really smoothly. And this is very interesting, as we will now, during this month and next month, introduce a number of companies that are already listed. So we will be dependent on having a higher degree of broker integration in order for that to work, or at least for the VA members to be able to trade. So once that's fine-tuned, I think you'll see how it works. It'll work very well. That's all for now. What we'll be doing now is we'll take a short break, have a look around the office, have a look around the Trig office if you want to. People are still working up there, so we'll just take a walk around the office, but not try to disturb them too much. And then we'll gather here again in 15 minutes, and I'll take you through the companies and where we are on the portfolio side. Right? Shall we? 15 minutes, and we'll be here again. I think we're all here. And those who aren't gonna miss out. So, when we sent out the agenda on Friday, of course we weren't really prepared for the news about the Frankfurt listing. So we're going to change today's schedule a little bit. I was planning to inform more about the Frankfurt listing now. But what we'll do instead is we're actually replacing, we have 2 workshops starting at 7. One will be about was supposed to be about trading strategies. We'll swap that around. That will be specialized only about the Frankfurt listing and trig, and is going to be held by Philip. So he will tell you more in detail about what to expect there and on trig. I think that's more important for today, and I think most people would agree. Now, we have announced a build-up campaign for a new campaign starting on October 1st called Windfall. The details of that will be presented by Anders at 8 o'clock tonight. The campaign has already actually been released in its build-up stage, and what we'll be doing is we're actually focusing on one company per month. So we will be selecting one company for October, one for November, and one for December. The interesting thing about these 3 companies is we're basically repeating the trig project again, but on another scale too. The common criteria for the companies, because we won't be releasing the names of them today, but the common criteria for them is that they will all have a 25 million euro or higher market cap. They are all going on a full public market, or they are already listed on a public market, but in any case before the first quarter of 2015. And they have a synergy with our other businesses. So there are certain effects that the members can contribute to as well. So very interesting, because this sort of becomes what we've seen this year, but even a stronger effect. So basically the Rainmaker campaign on steroids. So very interesting. On the company side, in general, I'll take you through our portfolio in general. And as we know, with the time constraints we have, I won't be able to go into detail. The idea is to give you a little overview of where we are roughly and our idea on how to steer these companies. Trig, we all know, and I'll leave that aside right now. That's a special case. I think this will actually become a very interesting track record builder for us. It's a major listing, and just the scale and the size of it. What it shows is that we need to be better at communicating how the process is done, what possible delays there might be. And a big challenge here is that we want to tell everybody everything that's going on, but for obvious reasons we can't always do that. And that becomes a challenge in itself, because rumors start to spread. You need to keep them under control, but you can't. You're not allowed to say anything. So we're actually split up between either not telling anything to anybody at all about projects that are being developed, which is a problem in itself, because if we're just quiet, you don't know what's going on, and the club loses attraction. The second part is to educate people better on the process, to better understand when there is a delay, and have a better understanding for when we can't share information with you. Because and I think the trig case will actually show that, so that will serve as a very good example. Now, the other companies on our list, I'll spend a few minutes on each one to give you a recap on where we are. We have a new company that is just being launched this very minute. There will be news about it shortly, I think within an hour or so. It's called Connect IB. I see Matthias is working frantically over there to get them up right now. Connect IB is a company working with digital signage in shopping malls. Very interesting company. It's on a fast track to a public listing on the AIM list in London. Then further down we have Aerial Drone Systems. Love this company. What they do is they build software platforms for drones. And what basically drones today is a huge market. It's really growing. Now, the interesting thing about this is not in the hardware. It's in the software applications, how you use them. Maybe some of you remember the hype last year when Amazon said they were going to deliver packages using drones. Now, of course, that's a nice hype and it sounds great, but there are a lot of practical issues with that. And the real applications for drones are a bit different. But overall, very interesting tech company. It's a very interesting growing sector, and we think that they will become an interesting candidate for a public listing next year. Following that, we have Athabasca Resources, which is a company working with oil. Well, they're refining oil sand, and they're working on a project in Canada right now. They're also on a fast track to a listing on AIM, expected in about 6 weeks. So a strong case. Will be presented in London, I think. I think they'll be there. They've been there too, Soraya, haven't they? Following that, we have Orogenics. Orogenics bought a real estate portfolio in Poland. Then we assisted them in splitting that up and acquiring an Irish one. And actually that project has been in a standstill for quite a while. It's moving right now. We aren't able to disclose anything on that yet, but it's actually closely related to RealPoint, used to be CellPoint, where we're actually working on a merger and a larger real estate acquisition. So I expect us to complete that within this month, and post that there will be some activity. This is actually one of the cases that has taken a very long time and we haven't been able to communicate much. But finally it's moving again. So looking forward to that, both for RealPoint and for Orogenics. Best of all worlds. We have representation from Best of all worlds here. Eric Wachtmeister. Hi. He's the founder and CEO of the business, another social network. And a very exciting project where we find synergies with what we've been doing in Trig and Trig Money. And if we get a slot, I'll make sure that we get a few minutes for Eric to say a few words about Best of all worlds. We made an investment in June, and we're working on the next stage in relation to that. I think this is a very, very interesting niche. They have a different niche than Trig, and one that is very strong. So more on that. We have another company, Esport Challenge, which works with an online platform for esports, basically. Esports is, believe it or not, the fastest growing public spectator sport right now. Esport is growing enormously. I remember the first time somebody brought this to me in 2007, I didn't really believe the numbers. It's just outgrown. It's actually past Formula 1 in terms of spectators, which is just crazy. The numbers are really high, but nobody's actually taken a proper corner in that market. So I think Lars is upstairs. He's handling that case. There are a few interesting things happening there with big players. I would expect to see more public releases from them at the end of this year, not before then. They're working hard on rolling out their platform right now. Then we have a case called Eurobrands. Most of you know them. They've been around since we started. Nice, stable business working with replacements for tobacco products. And lately they've gone into a more active phase because their sales has increased and stabilized. They've acquired 2 other brands. And what they're doing now is they're actually preparing for the first stage of a public listing. So we expect to move them up to a mangled list trading sometime in October, and post that progress them to a full listing sometime in the first or second quarter in 2015. This relates to some of their deals they're negotiating right now and see how they're tracking versus them value-wise. But overall, I think this is a very stable business, and this is a long-term one. We have another relatively new company, Fantrack, that joined us earlier this year. Fantrack's been to a couple of our events too. And Fantrack is another example of where we can sort of crossbreed functionality and benefits in Trig together with another social media platform. We're co-developing a few things together with Fantrack and Trig. And Fantrack is about providing that additional premium material from celebrities of all sorts that is available on social media. So right now this constitutes a part of their activity that they don't actually get paid for. What they're doing is they're telling the celebrities to put part of that content as premium content on FanTrack. So basically that's a way for them to create a revenue off social media. Very interesting product, good technological platform too. And we will be going more into detail on that one too later. New Motor Media is a company that's been with us for quite a while. And New Motor Media, just like Orogenics, has actually been in a standstill for quite a while. There is a new branding, there's a new business being acquired by the company, and it's a little bit behind on schedule right now. We were expecting to release this in July. But quite frankly, there are elements of this that have required work from the Viral Angels side of things, and we've been swamped with getting Trig across the line. So we've basically been focusing on that. So during the later part of this year, we expect New Motor Media to start accelerating again. And I think, again, Matthias will play a big role in that project. So we expect to see some things there. I think it's premature to show anything today, but perhaps we could do something in London on the 5th. Right, then we have 2 more cases, which is Systemat. This is interesting. You guys who aren't Swedish, even Swedes can't pronounce this name. Systematisk kapitalförvaltning i Sverige. Sounds like a horrible disease. Initially, we acquired this company in order to house part of actually it was a merger between 3 businesses in the financial sector. We also acquired part of the interest in a company called Enwire that we have some history with. Now, in the due diligence phase of one of these 3 acquisitions, we found some stuff we didn't like. So what we did was we held back on that transaction. That transaction has been sitting still for quite a while. It's actually moving now again. And what we've found a replacement for one of these 3. So basically what we're doing is we're acquiring a payment service provider, which will not only be a credit card clearing company, they're also launching a product that will be a competitor of PayPal's. So good product that sort of complements what we do in Trig. Best of all worlds will be able to use it. FanTrack will be able to use it. So again, a good example of how we can crossbreed our projects as well. So that's moving. On the 11th, there's a meeting where we will most likely decide on all the public communication and the roadmap for the rest of the year. So post that we'll see a lot. And then we have MyCab, which most of you know a bit about too. MyCab is a very interesting business because this represents part of our sort of core or our target group in a very good way, because this is a company that has great potential. It's got a very good, strong business, but it's grossly undervalued on the public market. And we actually see some bits of the side effects of being on a market that doesn't understand your product or doesn't understand valuations, because they are undervalued. And more interesting is they've been working 20 years on the product they have. And what everybody is missing out on, and they're communicating this to the public, but people aren't really understanding the point, is that later this year they will be launching their product integrated with the Amadeus system, which is basically where any travel agency in the world books their airline tickets, which means that they will reach a whole different level. So there's a lot in development with them. There's a twist to their product and their marketing, and I think we can only look at a product called Uber, which is the limousine service. Many of you probably have seen. You can order a car. You're lucky if it shows up. These guys, and they have a ridiculous valuation. Now, you could say that MyCab has everything Uber has except the valuation. They can actually deliver on Uber's promises that Uber fails to deliver. It is that, I mean, the product is that good. This is a very strong company. And we're now looking at taking them to another trading venue, and we will probably repackage that quite a bit. But very strong company, good management. Many of you have met the CEO, Roger, who's a hardworking guy, very well organized. I'm very, very confident in them. So I think overall we have a nice portfolio. And then again, we have newcomers coming in. We have Connect IB coming up today. Following them in a day or two, we have another company coming up. Can't say the name yet, I guess. Can I? No. Okay. And the idea again is that we will keep a new listing coming up every second week now. So overall, I think it's interesting. We have a few companies on the list that are on our observation list, and I think it's in place to talk about them too. There are a few reasons how or why you end up on our observation list. Mainly, the idea is it's about being a little bit cautious with them. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It might be that they are in transit to something, but what we do is we flag there's something going on there with them. So the first one, Artemis, is one of our earlier cases too. We invested in them, I think, late 2012, was it? And it was a US company acquiring a number of retail stores. The problem with these guys was that the main principals ended up in a fight with each other. So they've been suing each other back for left, right, and center now for a year. And we don't want to be there. Our investment isn't large enough really to justify spending time on it. Unfortunately, this is what's going to happen in the segment we're in. So what we'll do is we'll let them sit there, but people should be aware that this is a very sort of unstable situation. Then further down on the list, we have Enwire, which basically is being merged with Systematisk, and that's why it's on the observation list, because we will be recalculating the shares there. Same thing with Zebra Place, which will be reconverted, and we're expecting to finalize all this week, so we'll get that out of the way. And then we have the last company called IQ Money. And IQ Money had a very interesting niche. They still do. But unfortunately, they have lost parts of the management and they're in a bit of a limbo. There is a deal cooking behind the scenes. It's been for quite a while, but nothing ready to communicate yet. And we've had a number of false starts with these companies, with this company. So before I say anything, let's see what comes out of that. But that's the reason they are on the observation list. And this goes back to what I told you. I've said this on almost every event we've had, that this is a numbers game. In the industry we're in, out of 10 companies, half will disappear one way or another. That's where we are. The big profits lie in the other half. And our job is to twist these numbers into as favorable ones as we can. That's what we do. So that's the way it is. Right. So I think tonight's interesting agenda on Trig will give you more information on value-wise, trading-wise, how that will work, and I will hand that over to Philip. Until then, I think we have some food coming up in about 15 minutes. So once they're here, help yourself with some food. Feel free to move around, and we'll take about an hour and a half of mingle time, and then I'll let you guys know that when it's time to split up. We'll be splitting you up into 2 work groups. And Anders, you had an idea of doing a Swedish and English group, right? I'm not sure. How many here speak Swedish? Hands up. That's not going to work. Or maybe it will. English speakers, hand up. Oh, it will work. Yeah. So what we'll be doing is, to keep it simple, we'll be doing 1 Swedish group, 1 Swedish speaking group, 1 English speaking group, and then we'll just swap places. Half an hour into that, right? And I'll learn Portuguese really fast. All right, guys. Yeah.
Can you say something about the time schedule for MyCat? Autumn or winter, something like that?
No, I'm not allowed to. Sorry. No, I was just thinking, but I'm actually not allowed to. Not able to right now. Sorry. But we'll be informing about that as soon as we can. Super. All right, guys. So get a little briefer, stretch your legs, and there'll be, if it's not here, there'll be food in a little while. So enjoy. See you soon.
You should look happy. You don't look happy at all. Why not? I know some of you probably don't build or haven't built any business in Viral Angels, so maybe you won't. You're only saving, but still, this is the part where we actually do leaders training. Because we need to have our leaders to understand what we are doing here. And we have some quite good leaders in the audience, I can see, for example, Carlos and Rui and Isabel and Gervin, and there's a lot of them. But also, as this company is a little bit different than all the other network marketing companies, we are not really a network marketing company. We use the concept. And well, we do have a roof, but no one ever told you. But we can't really be 100,000 or 200,000 people because we couldn't deliver any value. So I think what we have discussed that might happen, I don't know if Tony mentioned that, but about 25,000 people is probably the largest amount of people we're going to be paying members in VA. And we are less than 5,000 paying members today. So we have a journey in front of us, but we also have some good campaigns coming. So I think we actually, if you ask me, I think we're going to be there before next summer. Then what's going to happen is that we're probably going to close the door. And that might sound like a disaster, right? But it's not. Because I've been to network marketing, you don't know me, most of you don't. I'm Anders, by the way, and I've been doing this for 15 years, and it's actually a pity that every time I start in a network marketing company, and had to do that several times, I always tell them, if you work 3 to 5 years, really work, you're going to be able to withdraw with a nice residual income. You want to know something? I haven't met one single person who lives from network marketing some years after stopping. They don't. No one does. There's a few who has, let's say 100,000 people or something in some good nutrition companies or whatever it is, but there are very few. So the idea actually is that we want to build something that is sustainable, where you actually can keep your income. So let's say, for instance, you had a nice income and the door closes and you get to keep the income. Wouldn't that be much better? Instead of forcing people to keep on working. So we are actually in a line of business that we are able to do that. And because of also we are able to deliver a lot of values to people, we can do all those things. But to be able to do that, we need people to act like leaders and really be careful with our business, because otherwise we won't have any business at all. And also for you who are English, you have to bear with mine, because I'm going to lose out on words. So, few things. I realize I won't really need that one. But things of being a leader, everyone has different opinions. I was fortunate in my early days in network marketing, because I joined a company where actually leadership things was a very important part of the company. I should probably mention the name, but Schwau also comes from that company. I think you also attended that telephone company. And they had good educations and learned a lot. And actually, I think because of it, the company being a lot more struggle for people to reach positions, then you kind of reached a level of understanding of leadership. In this company, it goes rather quickly, which means that some people will have a lot of profit, but they will understand nothing about leadership, and that's a pity. So if you want to have this company to grow and actually be a strong company, we need to think. So what is a leader? What is a leader? Well, a leader is probably someone that people listen to, that people would follow, right? In my world, a leader should always lead by example, which means that we don't lie. We tell the truth. Of course, we can't always tell things we're not allowed to, but we follow the rules and regulations. And for example, I can promise you we would have a perfect... Oh, it wasn't for me. A perfect working system if we all helped out with, for example, things like first line support. If we took care of all the things there, and you probably do, we would have a lot of good things happening. We would have a lot of more time. We wouldn't have a queue in our support system. There wouldn't be any problems at all. It's all up to us. So if we do our job, it's going to be perfect. So a good leader leads by example, which means you always think of what you do. Whatever I do will be done by the others. How many in this audience have kids? Some are not sure, you know, like this. Okay, I have. So I've learned one thing. I can't ever learn my kids not to use, is it called swear words? If I don't leave them out. And guess what? They're all using them. because they learn from me. That's how it works. So if you do good things, people will follow and they will do the same. That's very simple. And still, we all disqualify, whatever you say, on those things because we do stupid things. And then we ask ourselves, why do they do that? And that's really ridiculous. So if we just follow through, do all the good things. Have you all read Code of Conduct, for example? Okay, one, that's good. Do that. And make sure that people do that, because then we don't have that many problems. And also, we need to have discipline in what we do. And the fact that you are here, that's discipline. You made a decision, and that's also leadership. Made a decision, some even made a decision to come from Uganda. I think that's actually worth an applause, isn't it? Long trip, expensive. That's leadership, actually, to travel. So leader he leads by example. He has discipline in what he does. So what's that? You never ever lose out on meetings. You never ever tell a lie to people. You never ever promise something you can't keep. Just follow the simple things. People expect something from you, and what you expect from them, you need to give back, because they will return to you what you give them. That's very easy. And it's also very easy not to do those things. Most of all, I would like you to understand that our business is amazingly good, but also fragile, because we are in investment business, in network marketing, which means that I remember the days when I was sitting with Joao and Tony discussing how we should do this. That was in August a year ago. And I couldn't really see this happen, really, because, you know, all the things, it happened. All the things that we actually were afraid of. Delays. Have we had delays? Lots of delays. That was our worst fear. But still, people are here. And that's leadership. They stayed. And what a leader needs to do then is to handle all kind of situations. It's easy to be a leader with 10, 20, 500 people, whatever, when it's good times. As now, when we're listing Trig, it's going to be so easy for everyone, if you want to. But you also need to handle hard times, and we have had hard times. And that's good, because then you actually sort out the real leaders, because you find out who's actually handling this, who can actually handle bad times, because probably it will happen again. It will happen again. It always happens. Nothing is easy all the time. And that's what you need to understand also. So a good leader leads by example, has discipline, handles situations, and also the thing you probably do best, encourage your team. Make them feel good. Give them trust in the company. And actually now you have a perfect opportunity. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the figure here, but so I will leave the figure out. But do you realize how many people are going to have the possibility of being millionaires in Swedish money when the listing happens? It's a lot of people. And if they have patience, they're going to be a lot more than 100 people with a little patience. Isn't that amazing? Have you ever heard of such a company? I haven't. I've been to network marketing for many years. I heard a lot of stories, but I never heard that one. There's so many people got wealthy on one company. And you know what? We have more. We're about to start a new campaign. It's going to be even bigger. That's why we're doing this, because you need to understand that we need to be very careful with our business. Yeah, and you look really serious, don't you? A leader also makes a lot of sacrifices, which sounds really terrifying, but that's how it works. You have to work a lot, sacrifice a lot of time. And this time, this company, actually, it's the first time I can see that you actually get value for all the time you sacrifice. So if you were in the same company as I was, you probably worked your ass off in that company to reach where you was, right, Carlos? In ACN? Yeah. It was a good company, but we worked a lot more. So you are very fortunate to be in this company, because this company really has a lot of things to deliver without you doing very much of it. Also, a leader handles and takes care of both tough and easy things. We have had some tough times. We had some struggles in our trading system that has to be handled. It's not very easy. It's not very nice to tell people, okay, you lost those shares because of, but it has to be done. And it's up to us. We're all leaders in the business. We have to handle that. It's much more fun, of course, to tell them, oh, you're going to make that kind of money because it was so good now. But that's not the way to be a leader. You need to be doing all the good things and the bad things, because that's how they do it. and work long term. Let me tell you a little about our campaign coming up. You know why we started this build-up campaign with Windfall? Of course we started it because we all experienced some difficulties. We lost members because of the weighting of Trig. We all experienced that, some more, some less. But we had an idea. So if now we know the listing is going on. I need to take you through this so you understand why we're doing those things. So as we have the listing coming up, we know, of course, everything's going to be a lot easier. So then we put up the Windfall build-up campaign, so you all should have a tool to do that, which means that it's going to be a lot easier to sign up people because they get a lot of extra. And as you get extra sign-ups where you can give them even more, you know that, don't you? You have all read it? Yeah, that's going to make it even easier. And also, the way we do it, I think this is what's going to happen. We make them sign up for 3 months to make them understand the long-term goals of this. This is not a one-day investment. This is a long-term investment. And I really want those people to stay here for years, do the savings, because it's going to be very fortunate for you and also for them. That's the good part. And we put all the things in the Windfall build-up campaign together with the fact that we have the Trig coming up and a lot of other things. And I'm going to tell you about the Windfall later on so you understand why I'm telling you this now. You're going to experience some amazing things happening, really. And what you need to do now is actually, because even though we are here now, it's easy. Philip told us the company is going to the stock market, but we haven't received a date yet, have we? I know the date, but it's going to be soon. But anyhow, it's still people who don't trust anything, right? A lot of people out there will still be waiting because they want to see amounts. It's not that easy. I know that. We know that it's going to happen now, and we think everyone's going to be so thrilled. I can assure you, they are not going to be that. Some of them will, not all. So now it's time to be leaders, to build this company, because we have a target. We want to hit 10,000 people at least before the end of the year. And I think that's going to be easy. And I think, as I said before, because we have, except from the campaign coming up now, we have a new one coming after New Year's Eve. And because of those two, I think we're going to reach the target of 25,000 people, which sounds really strange. It's a very short period of time. But it's all about being a leader. So some of you will use this. Some of you will actually face the people who have been disappointed. Some people are disappointed in our business. Yeah. And if you face them, they're going to get back on. So this is not a funny speech, but I know if you just talk to people, because that's probably what people are thinking. Oh, I lost a lot of people and they are not coming back. They are coming back, but you have to speak to them. So now it's time to be a leader. Call all your organization members again. Get them back on track. Get them in there and make them realize this is for real and this company is here to stay and it's gonna grow and it's gonna grow. And then we're gonna unfortunately have to stop the growth and then we're gonna deliver big amounts. And just so you understand why we think like this, let's say we have 25,000 members. Let's say the average member today pays about 120 euros monthly. That's the average. And let's say 25,000, they pay at least 200 euros a month, I would guess, because it's increasing. That's a lot of money. Could you even imagine what Tony could do with all that money in investments? Every month, he's going to be able to buy us profit. That's wonderful. So could you bear with the fact that we actually could close the door around 25,000 people? Is that okay? This is yes and this is no. Okay, good. Just wanted you to know that. Because someone thought, oh, they're going to be furious when you tell them. No, but that's why we have to do it. So, my friends, I have to ask you for a thing. Please, 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 do take care of the first line support in your teams. Do that. Help them. For some of you, there's going to be an opportunity. We have started up with some people to get a special time with Alicia, who's head of the support, once a week. Oh, sorry, support time. Oh, she's my daughter. She's going to kill me anyway. Yeah, so but that's good because then you can actually gather the hard case, those things you can't solve, and take it on Skype or whatever, however she's doing it on Skype, because then you can solve all those things, so you don't have them pending, because pending things create a lot of trouble it kills the network, and we're not going to have that. I'm sorry that we had some trouble in that, but it was a lot of support things. And ask your members, please, do not send their KYC in, and 5 minutes later they send a support message asking when the KYC is going to be approved, and then they send me an email, and Gervin an email, or Isabel an email, and send everyone an email, and everyone is emailing about the same thing. And the KYC landed 5 minutes ago. It's not going to happen. I can assure you. Soraya is taking care of a lot of KYCs, and she's doing it almost every day. So there is no queue. There is almost no queue in support either. If there is someone waiting, it's because we don't have a solution. It's something we're waiting for. It's a third-party thing. It might be a company-related thing that we need to figure out with the company. It might be, as now, the trading things that Janne has had. Sorry for the wording, but he had a hell with that together with Christopher, and that's why it's pending. Then that's why it takes time. But otherwise, we don't have any queues. We don't, and it's good. It's really good. So expectations. What do we expect from a leader? Well, I told you a lot of those things. Well, what I would like to expect from you or get from you is actually that you start treating. A lot of you do. Start treating the company and our business like our business, because it's our business. It's an equity club. It's not a company versus the members. It's an equity club. It's all our club. So treat it that way, because it's valuable. And you're all going to be very wealthy from it if you just use it the right way. So please treat it like that. Be careful with the club. And remember, when you turn back to your markets, you are the faces of the business. So they never see the company, they will see you. You are Viral Angels. You are Viral Angels in the field. So if you behave bad, that's the way they're going to think of the company. So if you behave good to people, that's the way they're going to think of the company. And I think that the last one is best. So let's be polite to people. I'm not always polite, I can be a real asshole sometimes, and I admit it. But really, to the camera, you all heard me? But really, try to be polite, try to be helpful to people, and most likely it will solve, the problem will be solved. They will fix it, things will be easy, they won't have any more complaints. And also keep a very high standard of morals and ethics. Remember that. And when you set a meeting out in the field, make sure it looks, when you come to meeting room, you have all been in meeting rooms the first time, make sure it looks in a way that you would like it to look. It needs to look professional. Don't make your own banners in different colors, like the rainbow colors or something. Might be good in some occasions, but not in this case, because this is a business. You know where most problems come from in network marketing companies? Personal materials. People make their own materials. You're not allowed to. And no one's allowed to. Their own sites. I can understand why they need sites. That's why we're changing our site now. And I can understand that. But don't put Viral Angels on it. Because if there is anything wrong in the site, and that might happen, that will affect the company. It will affect everyone's value. And we don't want that. We want this to be sustainable. We want you to be here in 25 years. No, I don't want you to come here in 25 years. But I want you to still be making money from this in 25 years. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if you had a business that actually gave you, let's say your target was 20,000 euros monthly, and it was sustainable every month. And you also got a lot of profit from your shares. And really, who of your members would leave a club where they made several thousands of euros every year in profits in shares? No one would leave. So you will get to keep your members, and you will make the profits long term. Yeah, you can shut that off if you want to. So what can you expect from us then, from VA? Well, you can expect VA to bring value to the portfolio, of course. That's Tony's job. He just went away. And you can expect us to deliver on our promises, of course. That's very important. And there has been some, should we call it delays? Yeah, things happen sometimes. But also, as I discover in my part of the network, in different parts of the network, in the entire network, many of the things, of the problems, are not really company related. It's promises given of someone else, or actually it has been twisted. And that might be the company's fault, because we haven't been clear when we have explained things. Might be that, but mostly it's not. Mostly it's the network twisting things. It's like I'm telling Gervin, there comes, in 5 minutes there comes a guy with a blue helmet through the door. His name is Örjan, and he has blue shoes and a vest with the viral angels on his back, and one of his shoes is broken. So can you repeat that, please? It wouldn't happen, really, right? And if he kept on telling that, that's an old one. If he kept on telling that for 10 people, that would be a completely new thing. From all from that old guy, it would turn into Isabel or something. And that would be good, of course, much better than the old guy, but it changes. And that's why we have to be so careful with what we do. And also with sites, because people put up news, old news, and people go in and read it. Just figure it out. Let's say I had a site and I didn't update it. And someone, a journalist, went in there and read things that were wrong. Who would that affect? Everyone. Everyone in the company will lose on that. So don't do that. Don't do those things. And I think actually Philip is going to go on to those sites rather hard, so I can actually prepare you for that, because we don't want too many of those. Bring value, yes, we can deliver on promises. We're going to do that. We are going to develop our business in the best possible way for our members and for the companies, of course. And we're going to keep on improving our business model, because we have a lot of things to do there. For example, our home site that needs improvements. That's going to happen. You said 1 week, didn't you? About a week. That's really good. That's going to be interesting. And we have a lot of things to change. We're going to, for example, set up one presentation model, but we need to discuss that with some of you leaders, because we are doing it in different ways, and we have to find a way to do it all together. Because one of the powerful things in the first company I attended was actually the fact that we used the same presentation. Because I knew I could send someone in a presentation in, I don't know if we had a presence in Uganda, but anyhow, they would see exactly the same thing that they did in my hometown in Sweden. And that's powerful, because then you know exactly when they come back to you with their questions, you can answer it, because you know exactly what they have told them. So today, that's a weakness in this company, because we are telling different things, and that's not really the way we should do it. But we're going to get back to that, and we need to discuss a lot with you before we do that. And you should also, to end this about VA's obligations towards you, everyone should be able to feel safe with their investment in VA. There is no need for anyone to be worried about their investments, because, as Tony said today, was really good news. He's going to split our allocations in more companies. That's actually marvelous. That's really marvelous. I had looked into one, I think it was actually one of your team members, Isabel, who sent me a question, I don't remember the name, that he felt that he hadn't got enough shares from the allocations. But when I went through it, I could actually see that those 89 euros had turned into, I think it was 115 euros or something that month. And it was in 7 companies, 7 different companies. And I think that was great. Of course, they didn't get very much in each company, but it was great. Because, you know, taking away the risk, that's perfect. And we need to explain that to people. Because some of them think, oh, I didn't get enough shares this Wednesday. No, you're not supposed to get 89 euros every Wednesday. That would be a disaster for the company. You're going to get it spread out. And if you put them all together, you're going to realize that you actually received a lot more. And from all those people who are actually going to be, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'll do it anyway, going to make fortune on Trig. They didn't pay very much for it. They did not. They paid very little for those shares. And still they're going to make a profit. So make sure, that's actually everything, make sure you treat this business at the value it has today. And make sure that you actually are an example to people out there, because the organization you're going to get it's going to mirror you. It's going to look like you, it's going to work like you, it's going to be you. So make sure you do it the right way, because if you do it wrong, they will all do it wrong, and you're going to lose your business. And finally, don't hype them. We don't need to hype anyone. We deliver great value, and the hype coming up now with Trig is going to be a tremendous hype in itself. So thank you for listening. Time to go to Philip.
Join the pros. We get the job done.